What's up, guys? Welcome to Shalala. This is the YouTube channel where we speak about the Shanghai, about its lifestyle and slightly about its history through its architecture. By the way, my name is Ivan Fetkin. This is a very good friend of mine and co-host
Sergey, hi.
And today episode topic is acceptance. It's December 2021 and political stuff in the world quite rough, but on this channel we are trying not to touch these kind of topics. First of all, it's kind of dangerous. If you go too deep, and second, we're just not interested in politics and stuff. We just speak about history and lifestyle. Anyway, acceptance. Life is tough, but it was not easy before as well. And that's the topic of our episode. By the way, Sergey, where are we now?
We are in Okura Hotel, that many people who are in Shanghai know this hotel. But this is interesting that used to be, that building where we are now, that used to be so-called French club. And it's interesting in many different ways. First of all, it's a very well-preserved building. You can see that lots of original features here, all this bronze, all these tiles, this is all original. That's number one. Number two is architecturally, it's a very interesting building because it was built in the very late 20s when the
1920s.
When the two styles were colliding, when there was the neoclassicism, which was dominating, and then Art Deco was coming. So here there are some elements of the classical style, like this, and then you have some Art Deco things like these nude ladies, which you see them here. By the way, when it was during the times of Chairman Mao, they were all covered because it was not accepted to have nudity.
Nudity and luxury.
In the place. Another interesting thing here, you can see the big vertical structure on the ceiling here, which is very, very Art Deco, while everything else is clearly classical. 你好，我们马上就要走。
Are you from France?
No, Ukraine, Russia, but we speak about the history of the building. That
Yes,
it was a French club. This like the article parts and this kind of things.
And
Art
there is
decoration. Art
Yeah,
decoration.
yeah,
It used to be the French club
yes,
yeah,
in Shanghai.
yeah.
exactly.
His
Le cercle sportif.
grandfather
Grandfather.
was here like 100 years ago.
100
Something like
years
yeah.
So your grandfather was a French immigrant.
Yes, he was actually my grandfather's sister and her husband. They were members of this club. And we were talking about acceptance today, and one of the things is that this club was accepting not only French men, but they were accepting also women and also locals,
Yes.
Chinese as well. So there were lots of different foreigners that were members of this club, unlike British club, for example, because British club was only accepting men.
Only accepting
and
men, British men.
Only
Yeah.
British men.
Only British men.
Exactly.
All the waiters in the British club are
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
Are men.
They allowed women only one time a year for the Grand Ball.
A grand ball. You
that's-
mean the Shanghai club?
That's
On the bond.
Yeah,
On the bond.
yeah.
excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank
Have
you.
a good wedding. So that was just a place where people could come
Just go upstairs.
and have different events, play cards. There was a huge swimming pool here, and also lots of tennis courts outside. So this was a nice way of spending your weekend. You could come here and could enjoy nice company of different international people that came from different places. Oh, it's an excellent
Wow.
balcony.
Nice view.
Absolutely.
That's really
So
nice.
next-
When they were dancing, and many French immigrants, immigrants from other countries,
Yeah,
they just they just be seated here.
exactly. And they could figure out who is the best dancer and then go
Yeah,
and
yeah.
try to meet the best dancer.
Yes. So it's a nice view, nice view on the
For sure.
balcony.
For sure. Nice view. So this Bawan is not very happy with us. I think he is not very happy that he doesn't look happy.
It's okay.
It's okay.
He doesn't care us.
Okay, good.
Doesn't care us.
Okay.
Anyway, back to the topic. We are in an ex-French club, and as you can see, it's some kind of wedding ceremony. Sergey, are you married? Because I'm not married yet.
I am.
Yeah, I turned 30 a couple week ago,
But
and
when I
marriage.
got married, I had no ceremony because I was a poor student.
Oh, I hope I won't have any ceremony as well, because in China it's super expensive. As you can see, wedding in China is like a big thing, such as in Ukraine and Russia, I guess. It's like a big show-off thing, and people work hard to make it nice. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. The place where we are now, it's French Club.
Yep.
So, what is it?
This place, after it was first it was a French club, as we mentioned. Then it was a very high-end residence,
Restaurant or hotel?
residence
Residence,
for party leaders and very famous international visitors that came to Shanghai. So one of the most famous visitors who loved to stay here was Chairman Mao.
Oh.
Every time he was coming, he was a big swimmer. You probably know that he crossed Yangtze swimming.
The
and he-
river.
the river, yeah, the very, very wide river. And so there was a huge swimming pool here, 54 meters.
As I know from you, it's now turned into a restaurant, and we're going to
Yeah.
show it to you later.
Yeah, and basically, because at that time, China had difficult relationships with many countries. At first, there was difficult relationships with America.
We're speaking about 1950s, right?
Yeah. And then there was difficult relations with Soviet
Soviet
Union.
Union.
So security of Chairman Mao and other people was very
Oh,
important.
wait. Let's go back to show the swimming pool, actually.
So we are leaving the old building here now.
Yeah,
and
this is the new building. It was built like 1990s.
so that was the swimming pool effectively before, and we will show you a picture how it looked like, which is coming now. So we're talking about security, and clearly because you had some serious government guys staying here, so there was a bomb shelter built under it.
Oh, is it here in this building?
Yeah.
Oh.
And also there was a rumor that there was actually a tunnel that was going from this,
From here to Beijing, is
not
it?
exactly Beijing, but very, very far away outside.
But you told me before the video that you're going to show the door of it, is it?
Yes.
Oh,
I
we can
will show the door.
Let's go and check it.
So we will also just show the whole building, how it looked like, how neoclassical and nice it was. So let's just go there. So we are in the old French concession, so in the area which is called Puxi, because if you look at Shanghai, there are two distinct areas crossed by the river. One is Pudong, another one is Puxi. So Ivan, what do you prefer? You prefer Puxi or you prefer?
Anyway.
Anyway, so this is the, as you can see, the old club building, and you even can see a small cafeteria that used to be on top with a concert with a band playing there on hot Shanghai nights. And then there is just a new hotel that was built on the back, and the famous secret
Bomb shelter.
the entrance or exit from the bomb shelter is just here, but it's always closed. I tried it many times, but it's always closed. Oh. You see?
No
You
shit.
see, guys? So
Do we go there? Yeah, we go there.
we'll go there. Yeah,
Do you have flashlights, Sergey?
Yes, I have a flashlight.
Careful,
Yeah. Let's see let's make sure we don't have any
we don't get arrested.
any security guys running after us. So you see, that's a proper door.
Yeah. It's interesting, but staying here and going in can cause some issues for us, but can be a lifetime experience. Anyway, hit the like button, and when Sergey left, we're gonna go there without him.
Let's go across the road. So this guy, for example, security guy, clearly didn't notice us. That's nice.
Oh yeah, security guy didn't know. Oh.
Yeah. He didn't know-
Anyway, what's our next point?
So the
destination
next point, we're just crossing the road, and in one of the last episodes we mentioned a guy whose name was Victor Sassoon, who was a huge property developer and one of the richest guys in the world at that time. And so he bought, when all that was just a farmland, he bought a huge plot of land from that side to that side of Huaihailu, and then he gradually developed it. Let's cross the road. And he liked the name Cathay, so lots of his stuff was named Cathay. So that was one building here we will show you, was called Cathay Mansions, the most luxurious flats in Shanghai at that time. Those were Cathay apartments, which were a little bit less luxurious. So that is Andrei, that's the Cathay Mansions. You can see now that, well, now it looks quite grand, but when it was built in the 25 or 26, 1925, 26, it was just beyond grand. And
What do you mean, like it was super cool?
Super cool, super cool. And this one is so-called Grosvenor Apartments. That was also a very risky proposition at that time because it was very far away from the Bund where the life was happening.
Is it a hotel now or just like apartments?
It's all these buildings are part of the hotel, but some of them are rented on a long-term basis, some of the apartments. And it has a very nice lawn in front. So actually they don't care. So sometimes you can just come here and sit here and enjoy this beautiful, beautiful building. Again, this is total Art Deco because it was 1935. And the architects that Victor Sassoon worked with was Palmer and Turner. It was a British architecture firm. And as at that time, lots of ideas were collected from one architecture firm to another. So in London, in Park Lane, there is a building which looks almost exactly.
So you think it's like Chinese rip-off or?
Well, it's a British rip-off, effectively. I think people were stealing ideas from one another.
Yeah, it was like a trend that time, so it's not like someone's copying someone else. It's like, it was like a fashion.
Yeah, but definitely that was the style of the time. So people were jumping, many architects that operated in Shanghai, they were jumping on a ferry or on a boat, going to Europe or going to America, to New York, to look for interesting modern ideas.
Sergey, the question to you, how much you think costs the apartment in this place now?
I have no idea.
Like,
Well,
approximately like 10 million USD.
Well, yeah, it will be as the most expensive central New York or central London apartment.
You think so? Like the price here,
Yeah.
like?
I would think so. Yeah, another building to notice is this here, which is now a modern structure. But before that, there was another building that stood here, and that was where America and China signed an agreement of mutual recognition in 1972.
That's topic of today's episode, acceptance.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So be nice.
Richard Nixon actually stayed in this building, and all the American delegation stayed in Grosvenor Hotel.
So back in the day, it was like a hotel or like a place to stay.
Place to stay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Because everything was owned by the government.
Oh, okay.
Place to stay, and so they signed in 1972 the agreement, and then in '79. Official diplomatic relationship started. So this part of the Cathay development was given to the shops, and so that were the most expensive, most luxurious shops in this part of town, almost like now. Now you have IPM here, but before almost all of these shops were run by Russians.
Shops were run by Russian immigrants?
Yeah,
oh.
Because that was the part of where many Russians were living, and as you remember, there were 10 times more Russians than there were French, and if French were mainly dealing with municipal issues or they were working in different church organizations, then Russians were about business. So that was the most common thing for a Russian immigrant to open a restaurant or to open a shop. And what else?
Was there a thing here like Russian mafia or something? Do you know?
No, I don't actually.
Oh.
The Chinese mafia definitely was, and I know that some foreigners sometimes asked some Chinese mafia friends to solve their problems.
But if you are work for like Chinese government, it was before.
Of course.
No critics now. We're good.
Of course.
Please do not arrest me. Anyway, yeah, that's a very nice street to walk around. All the descriptions of our locations are in the description below video, and don't forget that we are on the way to one more cool place to show you, and then we're gonna end up at the restaurant. So Sergey, I think the cinema on left?
Yeah, the cinema on the left is something that in general in Shanghai there was not a huge amount of entertainment in old days. So there were some restaurants obviously, and there were clubs where many people were going. And by the way, in the clubs, coming back to the club, you did not pay, you just signed. And in most of the restaurants you also didn't pay,
Wait.
you just signed.
You sign what? Like
Si-
check?
Sign a bill accepting the food, the stuff, and then in the end of the month the restaurant was selling you a bill with a boy. So the boy was coming and the boy was bringing a bill and he needed to pay this guy some money. And I know some stories when people were running out of money, they were hiding from these boys.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I
Yeah,
haven't
but money
seen
is a
it.
different, very, very interesting subject, how it worked in Shanghai, because there were so many currencies were fluctuating and they were circulated here. So this is cinema, Cathay Cinema. It was one of the most luxurious ones. It was second largest. It was the second cinema that had
Second largest in China or in the world?
in Shanghai,
In Shanghai, okay.
and it had air conditioning.
Oh,
So, and it was designed by Karl Gonda, who was a Hungarian architect. I think we mentioned that many Chinese developers, and not only Chinese developers, liked to hire Russian or Hungarian architects because they had no passports. And so if they screwed up on their design, they could have been taken to the Chinese court, not to English court.
oh, so
And so we're ending up our story here at this beautiful lady with very, very short skirt and very short top. And the story was that in '93, Shanghai government decided to make it a little bit more urban and cool. So they put a few statues like this. And the first statue had a much longer skirt and much more...
bra.
Yeah, no
Much.
nipple. And then it was stolen like a few days later because it
The
was...
whole statue?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was metal. It was metal, so it was melted somewhere because you could sell it as metal. And then they, in '95, they rebuilt it again. But at that time, more short skirts and short tops were accepted. So it's still here. Nobody steals it now.
Yeah, that's quite controversial to modern Chinese standards, I would say, because the short is quite hot in all cases. Anyway, let's.
So we're quite hungry, so we will see you in the restaurant. Bye.
Yep. And we are ready for having some food. Let's go, follow us, guys.
So we are going to Haojiuqian Yang Rou Chuan.
Haojiuqian is like
Once upon a time,
once upon a time, nice. Yeah, we're being bad boys, not wearing masks in the elevator. But anyway, no one's following us.
I think mask policy is reasonably loose at the moment, unless only on the underground, right? They tell you put the mask on.
No, I have not in Shanghai. I had a colleague who went to Hebei province this week, and he could not get into hotel
Really?
just because he came from Shanghai.
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys. 你好，三位。
三位。
不好意思，咱已经营业结束了，午市已经
是吗？
午市到2点钟结束，下午的话从4点半。
我们很快吃，可以吗？我们半个小时就走。
我们厨师已经下班了，现在厨房没开了，关键。
啊
不好意思。
啊，
没事
我
没事，谢谢。
在下午过来4点半。
谢谢。
Anyway, guys, if you don't get it, restaurant is closed for the siestas, I guess.
So I guess we will have to go somewhere else.
Anyway, guys, we're going to other restaurant, but we're staying on this YouTube channel. Hope you do as well. So keep in touch. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Don't forget to write down your comments. Maybe you have some questions or stuff. And thank you very much for staying with us.
Bye.
Is it your wedding?
No. I am just. I was having brunch.
One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, mother. Out.